All shit. So obviously that isn't the end of the video. You know, I had to buy this stuff 3 times over for that bit. The first time I did it, it didn't come out very well. The second time I did it, I just drank it before I filmed anything. And this is the third time. I really hope I don't have to do it again because this stuff is shit. So, welcome! And on this vlog I'm going to be talking a little bit about my channel and also about winking. Do you think winking's good? Well, we'll talk about that later, but winking, you know. Winking! Is it creepy? Or, well, yeah, it obviously is, isn't it? So, the channel is evolving, and I suppose most apparently, the vlog is going to look like this from now on. I kind of think it's a bit more intimate, I'm a bit closer to the camera, you can see all my little micro-expressions and subtleties. But most importantly, of course, I've kept the lava lamp. So, the main thing that's changing on my channel is 1 minute to midnight. So 1 minute to midnight, if you're not familiar with it, appeared every week, and it's essentially a news roundup program of world news where I try to summarize a news piece without any bias or partisanship in about 10 minutes. And I've decided to change that to a format that's about 15 minutes to 20 minutes long and appears every 3 or 4 weeks. And the reason for that isn't because I'm lazy. It's because I think that 1 minute to midnight works better when it doesn't have to be timely and I can put a bit more analysis into it. Am I clicking buttons? This is the button that breaks the typewriter. I'm glad they included that. Refreshing. I found that with all the research that I've done with 1 minute to midnight, I could easily go more in depth, and that's what I'd like to do. I think in hindsight, the 10-minute length of every episode, or around the 10-minute length, is probably the wrong length. I think that kind of puts casual viewers off who don't know what it is, and it isn't really long enough to go as far in as I could go. So I'm going to do it every 3 or 4 weeks, but that doesn't mean that there's going to be a hole in the schedule. That's right, every Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be summarising YouTube drama that's happened in the last week. No, I'm not. I'm going to be doing a show called On This Day. Kind of like a 1 minute to midnight style presentation where I look at past events that have occurred around about the same date as when the video is published. So if the video is published on the 1st of September, it'll be something like, on the 1st of September 1939, this happened. And the videos are going to be about 2 or 3 minutes long. I hope it'll be concise and packed with facts, but also not boring. That's all anyone can hope for, isn't it, really? I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for history that happened before film was invented. I think maybe buy some costumes and do one-man reenactments. I don't know, but I'll come up with something. But really, the main thing will be the information and the style of how I present it. So look out for On This Day. It should be released on the 21st or 22nd of August, which is, I think, a Monday or Tuesday. And it will be weekly. Another thing I want to change is the look of Bugeater. So, not the content or the way it's recorded or sounds, but I want to get rid of all the Barry Lyndon stuff and all the War and Peace stuff, and hopefully record something of my own. But I'm kind of reluctant to talk about that more because I don't know if it's going to work. So it's kind of in the experimental stages. And yeah, I don't want it to look like a one-man reenactment. I don't want it to look shit. Changes. David Bowie, he's dead. With the vlog, I'm going to continue talking mainly about films, but also other stuff as well. I was thinking about doing a vlog about my experiences of YouTube as a creator. But I guess I'm still pretty new and yeah, I'll probably wait a while, I think. But Christ, there's a lot of shit on YouTube, isn't there? I mean, there is a lot of very good stuff, and I suppose there were quite a few good SS officers. Proportionally not, but yeah. I'm just kidding. YouTube is a fantastic community. You know, one thing I did want to talk about before I go is earlier I watched The Captive from 2014, directed by Atom Egoyan. I had to remember his name. Sorry, Atom. Which I never heard of before. He's the guy who directed Felicia's Journey with Bob Hoskins and Elaine Cassidy, which I remember seeing when it came out and thinking was interesting. It's a heavy movie. It's about a paedophile ring, sort of, an abduction. It kind of gets a bit silly, which ruins it, because it is quite serious at almost all times. But one thing it does do well is tension. And you know, I was watching it and I was saying to myself, oh, God, that Ben Affleck is really good in this. Ben Affleck has really pulled it out of the bag. He is so good in this. I watched the credits and it's fucking Ryan Reynolds. I guess I just can't tell white guys with beards apart. The part I wanted to talk about was the part where Bruce Greenwood, who is terribly underused, because I think he's a wonderful actor, he does this wink at Rosario Dawson. And it just made me burst out laughing.
I can't even read that. Is it getting late?
That's why they make women's watches so small, so you can't see how late it is.
You see, obviously it was meant to be funny, but I don't think it was meant to make me laugh out loud. But it did. It made me lol myself. And I wanted to know what your guys' reaction was to winks. Does that work? If you're talking to someone, does that reassure them in any way? I mean, when would you wink? When do people wink? Kind of like, yeah, but it's not stolen. How you doing? I'm not a creep. I'm not a creep. Hey. You know, the only time I've ever winked at someone was when I was about 19, and me and my friend were in a shitty town centre somewhere about 2 o'clock in the morning after a night out, and it was utterly deserted. I mean, you couldn't hear any cars. It was completely silent, and he was desperate for a piss, so he went into a churchyard. And as soon as he went in there and, I guess, started to have a piss, a police car pulled up and beckoned me over, and they said, "Is your mate having a piss over there?" And I said, "No." And they didn't like that. And to me, that is the general reaction to people winking. People don't like it. I mean, isn't winking the equivalent of just saying, "Don't trust what I just said"? But what do I know, I mean, that's just my opinion, isn't it? I mean, I think that you should leave a comment and let me know because I am totally interested. You know what I mean? I mean, really, I am fascinated to know what you think. So please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Eh?